politically appointed administrator. So if they are going to get rid of that politically appointed administrator, there will be improvement. But these laws are only as good as they are implemented. We have the recent example of cattle markets. They used to be auctioned by TMO, and there was solid evidence that there were 3 families who had cartelized it from Attak to Salkabad, and they were giving to the government 3 billion and they were collecting 30 billion. There was solid evidence, and it was in collusion with the functionaries of TMOs. Now they, on one fine morning, 12:30 on the 30th of June, government disbanded that system and issued an ordinance of creation of cattle markets, management companies, 2 years ago. If you look at book, it is far superior law, but when it comes to governance and implementation, there's no change on the ground except in 2 markets, one in Shahpur Kandrawala here in Lahore, and one in Shivpur. The rest of the markets are still. So, what law you bring, it doesn't matter. It's the governance model or the way they want to implement. The TMOs are bent upon making sure that the new cattle market companies fail. Because they are rent seeking as evaporated, they want it to fail. So I think if they get rid of market administrator, there will be change. 78 ordinance, the only major thing in 78 ordinance versus Chotu Ram's 1936 was the induction of administrator. Earlier it was elected cooperative body. The market committee was elected cooperative body, which was replaced by administrator. Or the first administrator group which Ziaul appointed, most of them ended up to become MP and MNA and senators.
So, thank you so much, Dr. So, can I now request Dr. Jawad for thanking you and for your giving tonight.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hassan Rana, and also thanks to Dr. Iqbal for providing all of us with this opportunity to review and reflect on this draft of Punjab agricultural policy. Since I come from diversity background, so I would first offer 2 comments with respect to diversity, and then I have some synthesizing, if you call it, reflections on the discussion thus far. The comments on diversity are reflective of the fact that right now in this room we are gentlemen and 2 ladies. So that is number 1. Which indeed has also been highlighted by Dr. Iqbal in his reflections on gender and women empowerment. So that is one obvious fact which is reflective of this assembly. The second obvious fact is that, as they say, there is an adage in Urdu, in fact in Persian, Zubane yare man Turki, baman Turki nami danam. My beloved only understands Turkish language, and I don't know a bit of it. So we have to understand that this whole conversation which is currently taking place in terms of agricultural policy and the critical reflections of it, how much of it would be accessible to those who are intended to be beneficiaries or users of these reflections and policies. So that is. So once again, that was because of my hat as a diversity researcher. But if I come back to some of the very beneficial and thought-provoking reflections which have taken place in this room in the last couple of hours, I tend to agree with most of all of the comments which have been made. But in particular, I would like to refer to the comment which was made by strategic prioritization. Dr. Fazil, you raised this point, and yes, there are quite a few things which are to be done. There are quite a few stakeholders within government, within academia, within farmers, within Pakistan and outside Pakistan. There are many stakeholders and many players. But then there is an issue of what exactly we are going to achieve, what exactly is the strategic priority. So that is something which we do in the business school, and that's where my business school background comes into play. And in connection to that, then perhaps we also, it would also be quite useful that if any future or current policy not only identifies some clear pathways, but it also identifies some clear KPIs and clear timelines. So there has to be, number one, strategic prioritization, and then there would be clear identification of pathways and KPIs and timelines. If I were to synthesize, there were 9 or 10 key issues identified in this document and also in Dr. Iqrar's talk, and also some of the reflections which were offered. If I were to synthesize them, I would identify 4 key themes. And the first key theme would be productivity and market. So that is the first key theme, the productivity of the farmers and the market of the agricultural produce. That is something which has been discussed in detail in the document which was shared with us. Within this, we can identify some of the issues. For example, one colleague here identified the access to internet, the access to technology, the access to virtual university. So, which I would identify that these are the issues of agricultural techniques, these are the issues of management, these are the issues of research and development, and these are the issues of entrepreneurship. So all of these collectively, it is hoped that they would contribute to productivity and market. So that would be theme number 1. Theme number 2 is simple. This is people. So when we talk about, for example, when Babar Sahab identified population, he was referring to people. When we talked about poverty, we are talking about people. When we talk about urbanization, we are talking about people. So then there is an issue of not only poverty and population, but also there is an issue of gender, women's empowerment, and also there is an issue of to what extent are we valuing women's participation in agricultural work. This is not only a challenge within Pakistan, this is also a challenge internationally. That to what extent is the informal, their work in the informal sector valued. There is also an issue of literacy. The third key theme which I thought could be identified were the external factors. And within those external factors, I would also identify government and governance. There would be issue of climate, there would be issue of globalization, there would be issue of international competition, and also within governance, as many colleagues here identified, there would be issue of policy formulation, policy consultation, and policy implementation. The fourth theme, which is last but not the least, is the issue of research, advocacy, and stakeholder activism. All 3 of them I find these 3 themes connected. Indeed, we need to have more research, we need to have more evidence-based discussions, and that evidence can be gathered through on-ground research. But at the same time, research is also one tool for activism. So activism, for example, where we think that we need to build more pressure on government, and I'm not only talking about negative pressure, it can be positive pressure as well, through engagement with them, through creating more awareness, through sensitizing them. And that is where not only we as academics, or we as farmers, or we as opinion makers can play a role, but also the most direct stakeholders, the farmers, they can also play a role through their own activism. So these were my 2 cents to this debate. In the end, once again, I am thankful to Dr. Iqrar for providing us with this opportunity to reflect on Punjab agricultural policy. I'm very thankful to Dr. Ahsan Rana and the Center for Governance and Public Management at the Suleiman Dao School of Business for organizing this seminar. And I'm also thankful to all gentlemen and ladies here for your participation and contribution to this seminar. Thank you very much.
Dinner जो है वो EDH में है. Please join us and we'll continue our discussion over there.
Thank you.